The first chapter of my career was in the airfield lighting industry, so I got to the point of being specialised in trying to get more aircraft down runways in a safe manner, and I realised that actually maybe that wasn't the wisest thing to do for the world, and probably we would actually be better off as a planet having less aircraft down less runways. So I built up a big carbon footprint over my early career and then realised that maybe I should try to offset some of that. So I switched direction at the beginning of COVID to use much of the same skill base in electrical engineering and delivering projects to apply to renewables installation. I found that it's hard to get companies to do renewables installation, and we've tried to build a business which is customer-centric, which looks at projects from the customer's point of view and delivers really good systems in a way that's friendly for the customer and that's at a good cost-effective price as well. Munro Wilson's grown from that idea. It started out with me in a diesel Vivaro outfitting car chargers, and now we're up to a team of 9 now. We've got a really good office team who are putting together the quotes, making sure that we comply with all the legislation we have to comply with, because there's quite a lot involved in that in terms of registering things with distribution network operators and complying with planning requirements, with all these regulations. And then also supply chain can be quite challenging because the industry is so popular, so many people are going for solar, so getting hold of the stuff can be quite difficult. So we've got a coordinator in the office, Lindsay, who's making sure that we can get the right kit to be able to do the projects at the right time, and she's also keeping everybody up to date with when their installations are going to happen and any queries that come up during the process. When we come to build things, rather than try to just scale the company as quickly as possible, I'm taking the approach of building the skills that we need to be able to do this, because we know that we're in a big skills shortage. So all of our installations are done by directly employed labour. We don't subcontract work out. We do subcontract some specialist things like scaffolding. Occasionally groundworks will need to work with a specialist subcontractor, but in general our core installation is done by our own team of directly employed electricians and roofers, and that means that we've got tight control on the quality, and we can invest in those people, in training in the new technologies, in training in the new techniques on how we're going to do things, and continue to improve the service that we offer as time goes on. One of the values that we identified as a team was that we want to be a technology leader. So our industry is fast moving. There's lots of investment going on just now in renewables technology, and we tend to want to be at the leading edge of that. So we'll sometimes work with customers and say that, do you want to be the first to have this? And that comes with some risks sometimes, but we're always upfront with our guinea pigs. We tend to want to deliver systems that we know are going to perform over the long term. So we like to have everything connected so that we can see how your system's performing. SolarEdge is one of the really strong manufacturers that allow us to have that interface. My Energy as well, if we're doing car charger systems, and OMI, our other go-to manufacturer of car chargers. All of these are connected systems where we can make sure that everything's working correctly in the long term. Business should be a force for good. So we aim to minimise our impact environmentally, and also to provide some quality of life for our team, and make sure that we're being a good employer, and that our customers are well treated, and that everybody that we deal with is treated fairly. That's quite an important principle of what we do. In terms of technology, we operate a 100% electric fleet, so all of our vans are electric, which means our full team know what it's like to be an EV driver. So you can talk to them about charging and about what's convenient, about what's inconvenient, how it's a better driving experience, and I think that's a valuable thing. And it means that we've got zero Scope 1 emissions, which means we don't directly emit any CO2, fossil fuel gases. We then have in our supply chain our Scope 2 emissions. We know that our supply chain has still considerable usage of fossil fuels, and our Scope 3 emissions, which is those that are produced by the product, we believe are negative because the systems that we put in generally have a good carbon payback. So overall, we believe that our existence as a company brings us closer to achieving a net zero energy system, which is what we're we're trying to do. There's others doing the science and the research and the campaigning and the protesting and all that. Our part of this is getting out there and building systems which are better than those that came before them. So that's what keeps us all motivated on a day-to-day basis.